All right, today this is probably going to be a very long one. We're starting a little. I'm starting this early. It's 8:08 Pacific, so this has been available for like 8 minutes. Phew. So the first question is, what version of Silk is installed on the VM? I've done none of this. I haven't done anything on here. So I'm just going to take some time and look at this real quick. I don't see any command saying this is how you get this from Silk or da-di-da. The VM contains the flow file suspicious flows.silk in a home and desktop directory. You can verify by clicking on the terminal icon on the desktop and executing the following commands. Alright, so we're going to cd to desktop and a list string of directory items, ll. Right, cd. Desktop. Alright, yeah, suspicious flows.silk. Got it. The next step is discovering the details pre-installed in the Silk instance in VM. These commands provide a verified Silk's installation, which will also tell us what version it is running, and that is redacted here. So we know that we're on to something because there's an answer to a question. So let's paste in this command. Alright, so we're running Silk 3.19.1. We'll scroll down to the bottom. 3.19.1. Alright, what is the size of flows in the count records? I don't know what that means, so we obviously haven't gotten there yet. We're going to scroll back up to wherever we were. Here we are. Silk mainly works in the data repository, but can also process data sources, not in the base data repository. By default, the data repository resides under var silk data, which can be changed updating Silk's configuration file. Therefore, we will only use network flows given by the SOC team. Quick win that will help you answer the questions. You now know the Silk version you are using. Oh, that's convenient. I don't think I've ever seen a quick win. Oh, right, here's another quick win. Cool. So this will show us records, Silk count records. So there's a version and the count records in this next command. Silk Suite also has a tool, rw file info, that makes this possible. Let's start working with the artifacts provided. We'll need the details. Run the following command. File name. So they don't actually give us the whole command. So, but we know the file name because it's right here. So actually I can copy out this, since they didn't want to give it to me up here. And then we can hit paste and run this, and we see our record count is 1177.4. So we're going to go down here, 1177.4. Alright, what is the start time of the 6th record in the file? Well, we haven't looked at the files individually, so we don't know that yet. Quick win. You now know the sample size in terms of count of records. Reading flows file. Reading flow files. RW cut. RW cut is what we're going to use. RW cut file name. Da 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 da. Okay, so this will start showing us stuff, and we need, I think this said the 6th record. What is the size? What is the start time of the 6th record in a file? Start time of the 6th record in a file. Make this bigger. Oh boy, it still doesn't fit on my screen. I'm gonna have to make the screen bigger, and that's probably gonna screw things up for the recording. Yes, it does. Look how big I need to make this for this to work. Oh my gosh. And I can't alter the size of that. So we're gonna go full screen. And it's still not big enough to view the whole thing. That's awesome. Okay, so what we can do is grab this, go off screen. And we're just going to extend it until we go way off screen. All right. So the sixth file, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, they gave us a command that was going to screw us. So, because they said record number equals 5. So we're going to go get the last command by hitting the up cursor key on the keyboard. And then we're going to change that 5 to a 6. So now we know the last record on here is that one. We want the start time. The start time is this long string. So let's copy this out and hope that it didn't ask for the entire long string, which it probably does, because TryHackMe. Alright, it does. So I'm going to paste in my answer here. Alright, cool beans. Now I need to minimize this screen again, because I made it gigantically long so that each record would get its own line and I could easily count down the lines. Even though in the end we didn't need to do that. Alright, so let's see. What is the destination port of the 6th UDP record? Well, we now know that's the last one. So here's the D port, destination port is 3225. I wonder if that's it, 3225. No, that's not it. So, we could have some things messed up here. That may not be the destination port, but it looks like things are kind of lining up, at least on the second line. I wish you could actually say just line 6, but let's see. Let's see what we can do here. It says you could do count 10. Oh, look at that. We're still up here though. Any port. Well, I don't know if we want to do any port. What is the destination port for the 6th UDP record? It doesn't show any of that. You now know how to filter records and view the source port of the 6th UDP record available in samples provided. We do, huh? We do. Well, the 6th record of the 6th UDP record. So we want to filter for UDP record. So we want to pull this, we want to do the same command that we did before, but we also want to submit the destination port. And then we need to look up what's the UDP port. I don't know all that off the top of my head. So let's go UDP port number. I don't know if that's at 5090. Ports. Huh. Looks like UDP port can be assigned anything between 0 and 65,535. So that's really not very helpful. Why don't we say protocols? Possible values are 0 to 55. Well, which protocol is? Are there? Oh wait, UDP. Hints from Elf Forensic McBlue. So UDP is 17. So we want to do -- proto. And is it 17? It is 17. Maybe they're really trying to help us out here. I don't know. Here. There we go. Paste doesn't work that way, so right paste. Oh, it doesn't like that. Did I do it the wrong way? Huh. Doesn't like that. I have to do fields equals protocol. Is that right? Oh, no, that's the fields I wanted. Rec number 6. So that maybe I need to use RW filter instead? Yeah, I need to use RW filter. So here's 17. And it's saying record number 5, so I should be able to change this. And then just change it to 6. And all of these are UDP. What was the question? What's the destination port? So destination port of the 6th file is 49950. Let's see if that's better. Boom, we got it. What is the record value of destination port 53? The record value. I don't know. Let's see, maybe we're going to get to that one. You now know how to filter records and Okay, so that was definitely for number 4 there. You now know how to list this and discover the volume on the port numbers. So that's probably for number 5, the 5th question. Or the RW stats. Now we need RW stats. So we're going to do 10 of these. What is the destination port on the 6th UDP? No, wait, sorry, I already did that one. What is the record value percentage of port 53? Let's see what happens when you run this. Okay, port 53. So records percentage is 35.333 something. Let's go back down to our questions here and then we'll try that. So it wants how many stars? 1, 2, 3, 4, probably all of them. So that's just, oh, yeah, I want the records percentage. So this field, we're going to copy that and paste that. All right, cool. What is the number of bytes transmitted by the top talker on the network? Up to this point, we've discovered fundamentals and now to speed things up for quicker automated overview of events. Fields shows the top 5 destination ports where all the traffic is going. Well, that sounds like a top talker, doesn't it? So let's copy out this and paste it in here. What is the number of bytes? So there's packets, here's bytes. So this is the top bytes for the top talker. So we're going to copy that value out and go all the way back down to the questions here and paste that in. Oh, it doesn't like that. Wow, what is the number of bytes transmitted by the top talker on the network? The number of bytes. That looks like that should be the right answer. List the top talkers on the network. We did. Huh. It's not redacting this answer, so something's wrong here. You now know how to list statistics to discover the volume of port numbers. Yes. This is redacted though. Interesting. Let's see. Top. I bet you that's what we're missing. Top. Let's try that. All right, so that's actually higher than the number that we got from the last one. So let's see if that's our answer. All right. What is the S time value of the first record, the first DNS record going to port 53. There's a lot of examples here. So DNS, I wonder if the little Mick Blue guy at the top tells what DNS is up at the top. Where was he? Hints from McSkitty. Here we go. DNS is not listed. All right then. Let's just keep plugging away and see what we find. So we were here, I think. No, you were here, top. Okay. So here's suspicious fields, looking at 10. We don't have protocols on here, so I guess everything goes through DNS. First DNS record going to port 53. What is the S time? Okay, S time. Okay, so we're reading and we're trying to figure out S time. We're looking at a particular IP address here. Alright, and then we're at the conclusion. So we still don't know the first DNS record going to port 53. And it's not listed here. We do know this is 53. Here. What is the S time value? It doesn't show the S time value because this is a summary. Here is, but I don't know if it's DNS values. Okay, so I'm going to go back to where we were at top and try to figure out the rest of these. You know what? Let's check the hint. I need a hint. List the frequency of DNS requests sent to port 53. List the frequency of DNS sent to port 53. Well, which one do I use for frequency? So, great. All right, so we're looking for port 53. We filter on port. Here we go. This one filters on port, but I'm looking for S time, and it's not here. I wonder if I can add that in. So I'm going to paste this one in here. I'm going to go back to fields and type in S time. I'm just curious what I get back here. So these are these all going to 53? Yeah, the port 53, they're all going to port 53. So what was our question? What is the S time value of the first DNS record going to port 53? So I added S time, so it should be the first record's time. Okay, so scroll down and see if this is it. Uh-oh. Ah, okay. List the frequency of DNS requests sent to port 53. Let's put in file names. We don't need to do that. Oh, that's searching file names. Okay, so maybe we do want to do that. These are searching specific IP addresses. I wonder if we want to do this, but then add in s time. Or is this the same command that we just did? And I'm just losing it. Looks like the same command, and I'm just losing it. Okay. That's definitely S time. Alright, well, I don't know. So I need to figure out what this answer is, and I don't know. So let's watch the video.
Hello everyone, and welcome to Advent of Cyber Day 17. And today's task title is I taught a C2 tat. And if you don't know the reference,
I taught a putty tat.
So let's do a quick overview of the story here. So congratulations, you made it to Day 17. The story, however, is just getting started. There are more things to discover, examine, and analyze. So up until now, we've worked with multiple events, including the prompt injection from day 1, log analysis, brute force, data recovery, exploitation, data exfiltration, suspicious drives, malware injection, pretty much everything so far. And over those days, we found a lot of anomalies, a lot of indicators of attack or IOAs,
so
indicators of compromise or those IOAs. What is the S time, or what is the source time value for the first DNS record going to port 53? Okay, so for this one, we can do RW filter. We want to pass in our log here, and we want to look at port 53 specifically. And then we're going to pass this into RW cut to read the lines, and we want the S time value. So what we can do, S time, and then we want to basically limit it to, well, I guess the top one, right? So we can do num rex equal 1. In this case, we have this S time here, the starting time, and that should be the correct way.
Whoa, dude. Okay, dude's going too fast, so let's rewind a little bit here.
Okay, what is the IP address of the host that the command and control server?
Okay.
To format this, yeah. Okay, what is the IP address of the host that the command and control server potentially controls? Well, I guess the top one, right? So we can do num rex equal 1. And this.
Okay, so cool. There's our command. So I was somewhat close. So we need to use RW filter for port 53, standout, RW cut. Okay. Fields, we only want S time, so he's right. We might as well just delete out the rest. We don't need values. We don't have that in here, so let's see what happens if we don't put in values. And we just want rex equals 1. Alright, let's see if that works. Oh, I did something wrong. Num rex. My bad. Okay. So now we're going to come back here and do num rex. Alright, so that is a different time than we got before. So let's copy that out and see if it works. I'm all the way scrolled up. Oh god, here we go. So we're going to try this time now. Alright, cool. What is the IP address of the host that C2 potentially controls in defanged format? So that means we will need CyberChef, because I do not like typing all of that out. Defang. We're going to defang an IP address. Okay, so we're set there. What is the IP address of the host that C2 potentially controls? Well, it sounds like they probably had it narrowed down here. So, I mean, if I was a betting man, I'd say that it is this one. But, they're getting IP addresses, though, too. Elaborate on our detection nodes, but we'll check this host out to see if it's affected other ones. So, is it source IP? Is it source IP? Could it be that easy? Is it source IP? That's not source IP. Okay, the other easy check that I'll make is it destination IP? No, okay, so they didn't give us the answer. Okay, so we want to find out the IP address of the host that the C2 potentially controls. Source IP address ends with this. Sent many short intervals. A suspicious address didn't send ACK requests represented in TCP3. Who is trying to DOS that particular host and why? Is that host compromised or do we know the sender? Huh. Okay, let's go through this. So this is interesting. Detection notes. The C2 TAT. The communication pairs, this procedure, the elaboration, the IP address ends with 221. Send a massive DNS. It's cat tool, so it's helpful. Now let's continue the analysis and discover any more anomalies. Remember that quick. Ends with 221. I don't think any of the ones that we tried had 221 in it. No, it's 223. So why are we checking out 223 if we think it's 221? This is interesting. I wonder if we run the same thing, will we get the same answers or will we get different answers? So they think it's 221 and I'm getting the same thing that they're getting here. Oh boy. Okay, I don't know what to do about this either. Let's see. Detection notes can help. And a cyber chef can defang. Okay. Detection notes. Not a water flood. The communication pair that uses port 80 is suspicious. And there's a sign of a DOS attack. Elaborate points are listed below. The source IP address ends with 236.223. Can we just check the top talker and filter for 236.223? Okay, so let's do our top talker request, which is right here, and it ends with 221. Huh? Look at that. That's our top talker request that we did from previous question. For top talker is doing DOS, a denial of service on us, then there's a good chance that he is a top talker. Yep. Okay. Wow. Cool. What is the IP address suspected to be the flood attacker? Huh. What is the IP address suspected to be the flood attacker? That's a great question. So what do? Do we look and see? What do we do? Detection notes can help. Seriously? I don't know. This is a weird one. Okay, so I don't know. I'm thinking it's probably one of these IP addresses with the most traffic, but let's check this out. So we're on
In this case, we have this
question.
S time here, or this starting time, and that should be the correct way to format this. Yeah. Okay, what is the IP address of the host that the command and control server potentially controls? So we found this out basically by looking at the RW stats tool, and we were looking at which source and destination IP pairs were communicating the most. So we'll just run this with a count of 10, and we can look at the top result here where the source was that 173.221 communicating with that 238.243. So I'm going to copy this IP address here, and it wants it in defanged format. So defanged format is where you have these brackets around the dots, and you'll often see this with IP addresses or domain names or URLs. And the reason being is that some systems might translate this automatically as a hyperlink, and you don't want to do that if it's suspicious IP or a domain. So we put these brackets around them to basically break off that potential. So you can also just do a search for CyberChef. If you have like a list of a bunch of IPs or domains you want to defang, as it were, we can paste that in. And if we just search defang, you'll see there's one for URLs as well as one for IP addresses. So I'll just drag over the IP address. We will get the output there, if you can see that. And we can just paste this in. Hopefully will be the right answer. There we go. So which IP address is suspected to be the flood attacker? Okay, so we just went over that. And the way we figured this out was basically by looking at all of the port 80 connections, and then we pass that into the statistics so we can look at which fields under the source, destination, and the destination port. And with this, we saw that this IP address here was the one communicating most over port 80, which in this case was the one that was sending the SYN flood. So we can paste this in here and I guess manually.
Okay, so let's do that same thing that he did. So I've got it, but I'm not doing port 80 on here. So I need to add in port 80. I wonder if I could just set that port equals 80. I forgot this is the syntax, and that's not the right syntax. Okay, so let me go cheat and find what the syntax is. For that, we're doing RW stats. A port 53. Can I put that at the end? No. A port 53 needs to go in the RW filter. Okay, so what I'm going to do, actually it'd probably be a lot easier just to look at the dude's screen and write what he wrote.
Defanging this one, the one that was sending the SYN flood.
Okay. So here we go. Let's try that. He's got RW filter. Suspicious. I haven't typed suspicious yet today. I have been copying everything. That's silk. A port equals 80. Pass equals standard out. RW stats fields equals SIP DIP D port count. Probably don't need this many, equals 10. All right, so we've got the 223. Whoa, yeah, that's a lot of records. Okay, so let's copy this, and we will defang it. Scroll all the way down to the question. What is the sent SYN packet's number of records? 1658. Okay, it's right there, still in the same one. And then we'll click that last one to complete. So thanks for joining me today. It was a longer one, a lot of questions, 10 questions in all. But we got through them, so good job.